Hello, hi. So this is Danielle Serpico, the Blackbelt mastermind, and welcome. So why am I here today? I'm here a little bit to talk to you about mindset and how easy it is, in fact, to change your mind. Okay, so who am I? I am a mind coach, a hypnotist, an author, and a radio host, as well as a black belt and a European champion, and an entrepreneur. I've been in business for over 25 years and have done a lot of startups, my own business, and all that sort of stuff. So why am I here talking to you now? Okay, so because I was always a fighter and had a fighter mentality, hence writing my book, The Black Belt Mastermind, I did have a few stumbles in life. Okay, and things weren't always quite so rosy. And besides a kind of a mixed childhood where I am half Irish, half Italian, hence the name Serpico, like Al Pacino, I had a few moments where life kind of got the better of me and I felt a little bit down. Okay, due to various reasons, such as my parents divorcing, being disrupted and moved back to Ireland and going back and forth and feeling a sense of not quite belonging. Now, maybe you have felt like that at times. If you have, I'd love to hear from you. If you've gone through anything like that or experienced a sense of not really knowing where you quite fit in, because I have. Being half Irish, half Italian and going back and forth, I wasn't really sure. You know, when somebody say to you, where are you from? What do you say? Do you say, you know, a lot of people have lived somewhere all their life and been born there? I would kind of say, well, okay, my mum's Irish, my father's Italian, I was born in London, I'm an Essex girl, really. Shh, don't tell anyone that. But then I grew up in Rome. I lived in Rome till I was 10 years of age, besides a few trips back and forth to Ireland, and then came over here to Ireland. So where am I from? I'm not really sure. I'm a child, I guess, of the world, a little bit. I'm a European, okay? So I had this sense of feeling that I didn't really belong and I wasn't really sure. And I guess that was enhanced by the breakup of my parents and the split of their marriage, and feeling maybe that a sense of detachment and abandonment somewhat from my father. And I grew up feeling like I really wasn't worth much because, you know, I didn't have my dad around, and I found out later, thanks to certain things that I discovered about my mind and how it works, and I was able to go there and find out, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. But I discovered that even though I've spent years thinking that I was worthless, I actually found out that I wasn't. That I was, in fact, awesome. I was, in fact, lovable and a good, wonderful human being. Now, when I say that, for you know, if you don't know who I am, you know, that's not said with arrogance. That's said because I believe that you also are awesome. I believe that you also are lovable and incredible, and you also have a purpose and a meaning in life, and a reason for being here in this world. So just like me, okay? But it took a long time for me to discover that. So how did I do that? In 2009, I went bust. I had 4 businesses, in fact, okay, 3 restaurants and a gift shop, and I lost everything, okay? I went on to lose every single thing I had, literally everything. My home was taken from me, my car, everything, okay? I lost it all, okay? And I hit rock bottom, because most of all what I lost was this, okay? I lost the front, okay? I lost what I used to hide behind. Okay, because I wore a mask for probably the better part of my life. Okay, so for about 26 years, let's say from the age of 10, from when my parents split up, to 36 years of age, when I sat on the floor of my last restaurant and closed the doors, I was literally wearing a mask. Didn't realize it at the time, but I was, in fact. Okay, I was hiding behind the mask of being, in inverted commas, a businesswoman, okay, and pretending that everything was okay. And I had even deceived myself because I hadn't gone down into my emotions to actually feel them, okay, because I thought that if okay, if I can keep this front up, and if everybody thinks that I'm successful, and if everyone thinks that I'm happy and I'm doing well, you know, and I have my restaurants, I must be a good person, okay? I must be a confident person, okay? Then everything's going to be okay. But you know what? It wasn't. It wasn't, in fact, okay, okay? And subsequently, I went on to get divorced, okay, because things weren't okay. And I think I'd probably, you know, married for the wrong reasons. I wanted security and stability, and I found a guy that gave me that, and he was a good guy. And he gave me all of those things, okay? But it was the wrong reasons, because I hadn't really started to love myself, okay? Because deep down, I thought that I was worthless. And that's really, really true. I really, really believed that I was worth nothing. Okay, so how did I change things? When I hit rock bottom in 2009, I was very seriously considering suicide. And I wanted to end it all because I couldn't cope with everybody really knowing now what a failure I was and how worthless I was, and you know, that I didn't really have anything, because there's a big difference between confidence and self-belief. Now, even as a child, I had been nicknamed Smiley, okay, because I always smiled, but it was a front. It was a complete and utter front. I would go around with a smile on my face and people would think I was happy. That's because confidence and self-belief are two different things. Maybe you do the same. So, you've probably heard the story of the man that walked down the road. I know some of you guys are tuning in here, and hi there. Hi Jerry. Hi Lizzie. Hi Alan. Okay, hi Adele, Antoinette. So thanks for tuning in. Love having you here. Thank you. I'd love any questions or comments. Really appreciate it. And you've probably heard the story about the man that walked down the road. Now, he was feeling very lonely, and he walked down the street and he felt that nobody could see him, that nobody knew he existed, and he felt alone. And along his way, he found a mask, and it was a clown mask. And he go, oh, that's interesting, and he put it on, okay? And all of a sudden, across the road, this family and these kids started waving at him, going, hi, okay? And this guy walked up and he goes, hi, you know, hiya. And they all waved at him and smiled and high-fived him and laughed, and he felt seen. He felt, oh my God, people are actually acknowledging me, okay? So he enjoyed it. He enjoyed the attention. So he carried on wearing the mask. And he went on and on wearing this mask day after day after day. And then one day, he wasn't feeling so good. He was walking on the road, but people were still waving at him and smiling and cheering him on. And he went, but hang on, I'm not smiling now. Okay, it's only the mask. So he went home and he said, no, that's not it. And he went to take the mask off, but the mask was stuck to his face. His skin had grown attached to it. And you see, I was that man. And maybe you can relate. Maybe you also wear a mask sometimes. Maybe you also hide what's inside. So what do you do about that? What's really going on inside your head? So what happened was, when I hit rock bottom, the mask came off. And now I thought, uh-oh, here we are. Now I'm in trouble. Now everyone will know. So I felt down. Luckily, yes, I had been a black belt. I did have a fighter spirit. And I did say, you know what? Let's get back up one more time. Let's give life your best shot. Okay? So I did. And this time, I took it seriously. This time, when I picked up all the books that I'd read before and just read and skimmed over, I read them with a serious purpose, as seriously as going for my black belt. Okay? And maybe you can relate it to something when you do something by halves, or you do it and you really, really go for it. So I said, no, this time it has to work. So when I read it, I literally sucked the words off the page and I said, okay, how can I make this work for me? So I'd hear a quote like, you get more of what you focus on, or something else like, you know, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't. And maybe you've heard these sayings before, but what do you actually do about them? Do you actually use those sayings? Do you actually do what it says on the tin, or do you just go, oh, that's interesting, that's lovely, I'll say that to somebody and sound smart, and then you do nothing about it? Okay? This time I said, you know what? I'm going to make sure I use it. So I did. So I started to use it to effect. So I would think of the sentence, you get more of what you focus on. You get more of what you focus on. You get more of what you focus on. Pay attention, guys. And what happened? Everything started to change. Seriously. I read a book by Paul McKenna. You've probably heard of the Hypnotist, Paul McKenna. And it started, just like it said, to change my life. Change your life in 7 days. Because I practiced. I put it into action. I did it. Okay? I actually did what the techniques and exercises said to do. And then I found out that Paul McKenna, the hypnotist, you probably have heard of the famous UK hypnotist, had been trained by a guy called Richard Bandler. Now, Richard Bandler was the co-creator of a system called NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Neuro standing for your brain, linguistics, your language, and programming. How we program ourselves using our language internally and externally. And I started reading his books. And then I ended up going over and training with him. And all I can say is my mindset and my life changed. Because everything is created twice. First in here, for it to become a reality out there. So if you want to make change in your life, you have to start with what's within. It's vital. Okay, so now that I'm a mind coach and I, obviously train people one-to-one, I do teach people what I learned. I do NLP training and all of that. Basically, you could call it conversation hypnosis if you want. It started to affect not just my life, but also the people around me. So, for example, like the people that are tuned in here, say a little shout out. Alan, hi Alan, I have to get you on. And Colette, hi Colette. And Karina. Okay, we have lots of people tuning in that are actually coming on the course. And Vanessa, hi Vanessa. I might invite Alan in also soon to have a little word and tell people about the NLP course. But I want to just say, if you have any questions about mindset, because this is what I want to make sure that I can give you something back. Okay, because maybe you're not in a position right now to do an NLP course, but maybe you might be later. So if you want to know, if you're tuned in and you maybe are feeling down, maybe you really get me when I say there's a difference between confidence and self-belief. Maybe you're putting a front on, but inside you're crying. Maybe inside you're lonely. Maybe inside you feel like you're dying. Maybe inside, like you genuinely feel like the way I used to feel, just like me. And you were lying back and screaming at the ceiling and saying, God, help me. Is this it? Now, if that's you, okay, please, please, please get in touch or talk to somebody. Okay, because I shunned away from the world and I hid myself and I would pretend to one person that I was with somebody else and to the other one I was with somebody else and I was alone. Okay, and that's what we tend to do, and it's really not helpful, guys, because there is another side to it. Okay, there is another perspective. So start by doing something. Now it sounds petty, it sounds silly, it sounds maybe a little bit patronizing, and I felt like that also. And I say it's not so easy, it's not so easy. And it's not about positive thinking, it's about smart thinking. So if you're feeling down, start with your physiology, because it really is that simple, because nobody has ever come to me and said, oh, you know what, I'm depressed. Never. They come in and they go and feel down, and their body is down, right? Think about it. If you're feeling happy, how do you sit? How do you stand? How do you put your shoulders? Are your shoulders back? Is your head up? Are you looking up? Okay, if you're feeling down, what do you do? If, like me, you're probably curled in a ball under the duvet or hunched over or feeling like the world is on top of you. And listen to your words. What do you say? Do you say things like, I feel overwhelmed? I feel like life is getting me down. I feel like I've got the weight of the world on my shoulders. Pay attention to what you say and pay attention to what you do. Okay, so start little steps. Start by, for example, literally putting your shoulders back and looking up, and have a go. Experiment. Have a go at that. Put your shoulders back and put a smile on your face. I know it sounds silly, but it actually does make you feel better. Why? Because it's simply science. Because when you smile, those muscles will tell your nerves, which will tell your brain, you know what? You're smiling. Okay? So it'll give you a little tiny little shot of serotonin and feel-good drugs, and you'll feel a little tiny little bit better. And that'll give you the impetus and the momentum to take your life a little bit one step further. Okay? So then you might do something like, you know what? I'll just sit up in bed. Okay? Or maybe I'll just, I don't feel like going for a jog, okay, and doing it all, but maybe I'll step outside. and I'll take a breath of air, or I'll go and smell my flowers, or I'll have a glass of water. Something as simple as that can change your life. I was saying it earlier to somebody there, Alan, and I'll get him on in a minute. But basically, something as simple as the power of your words. Like I had an email there from a girl that's coming on my NLP training, and she came to one of my talks, and she emailed me after the 1 hour talk, and she said, you know what, just simply that has changed my life, because she learned one sentence, but she put it into practice, and that's the key. Okay, and the sentence was, I said, okay, I can't remember. And then I said, no, you know what, it'll come back to me in a moment. And I explained why I said that, because when you change your words, the results will change. So if I say I can't remember, my brain is going, okay, the unconscious, the subconscious part, because your conscious, the part that you're speaking with, saying I can't remember, is only 7% or so. But the other 93% is listening, okay, your subconscious mind. And if you say I can't remember, then it'll go, okay, she can't remember, don't find the information. But if you say, you know what, it'll come back to me in a moment, then your subconscious mind goes to work, and it goes on and on and on till it finds it. Think about it. Think about something that was on the tip of your tongue, like the name of an actor, and you're talking to a friend. Okay, what happened? The person went off, and 2 minutes later, when you consciously started stopped trying to force your mind to find the answer, it suddenly popped up into your mind. Has that happened to you? Yeah? Okay, think about it. Okay, it has, right? Okay, so what happened? Or maybe it happened at nighttime, in the middle of the 2 o'clock in the morning, you woke up and suddenly you remembered. What happened? Your subconscious mind was still going to work. Think of it like Google. I often use this example. It's as simple as the direction that you set and the questions that you ask. If you want a good result and a good answer to your question, then you got to ask the right question. It's as simple as that. It's all based on questions. So if you type into Google, if I said to you, okay, if you wanted to learn how to do a Facebook Live, say, for example, okay, what would you type into Google? Would you type in how to make spaghetti bolognese? No, right? Why not? Because that's not the question that you want to know the answer to. You would type in how to do a Facebook Live, right? Am I correct? Is that right, Alan? Obviously, okay? So it's the same with your mind. Think of it like Google, because it's simply an incredible, fascinating, the most amazing computer that you will ever have possession of, ever. Okay? So if you type into your computer, okay, why is my life so difficult? Think about it. What answer are you going to get? Okay? Your subconscious mind is going to go to work and find the answers. Your Google is going to go, okay, your life is so miserable because. Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Okay, because it's going to go to work and give you answers, because it's simply doing its job. Okay, so if you type instead to your Google, what can I do right now? What one step can I do right now to make my life one tiny increment better? What do you think will happen? Think about that. Your life will start to get better, because it will find the answer for you. And that is simply what you get more of what you focus on means. Okay? All those sentences often mean the very same thing. Okay? You get more of what you focus on, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't. Really think about that statement. You're right. Your mind works perfectly for you all the time. You're the one that controls it, not the other way around. I spent 36 years of my life saying, I can't stop these thoughts. This is the way I am. I can't change things. Why is my life this way? And it got me nowhere, except feeling worse about myself, except making me feel more unlovable and more worthless. Okay? Instead, if you use the power of your words wisely, beneficially, you are going to have a lot more happiness, a lot more success, and you're going to realize right now how incredible you are. Okay? So I did that. I learned about the power of my words. I learned about visualization, how to use it, what goes on inside your head. Because if you have a bad thought, what have you done? We're all a little bit crazy. Okay, I know I'm crazier than some. Alan, you would agree with this, right? Okay, but think about it. Okay, if you have a thought, what have you done? You're crazy, right? You have made a picture in your head. And not only have you made a picture, but you've made a story in your head. You've made a story with an ending. Okay, so if you feel bad, It's because you've made a horror story. It's because you've made a thriller, a drama, some kind of sad saga. You've made a story with a bad ending. You've made that story up in your head, and hence you feel bad. If you make a story up with a good ending, what do you think is going to happen? Right. You're going to feel good. It's as simple as that. Sometimes people say, I don't believe in that positive thinking. I don't believe in all that rubbish. That's just, positive thinking. That's wishy-washy, or that's being optimistic and not being realistic. Well, are you being realistic, really? If you only think about the negative result, if you only think about the problem, if you only think about the bad possible outcome, is that any more realistic than thinking about the good positive outcome? And here's the crunch. Think about which one will get you more motivated. Which one of those two directions will get you more inspired, more enthusiastic about taking action? The story with the good ending or the story with the bad ending? Now tell me, is that positive thinking or is that simply smart thinking? I think you know the answer, right? So I want to just actually go here now to some of the comments here and questions and see if there's anybody asking something. I can relate to some things. Everything is ups and downs in life. Hi, Megan. Deirdre. Hi, Deirdre. I'm wearing red. Oh, absolutely. The power of color. I always wear red. Make good movies, people. Who else we got? Colette. Powerful. Thank you, Colette. I don't know how to go back on this and look back up. But there's loads of comments coming in. If you have a question, put in a new question here, because I don't know how to actually scroll back up on the questions. But I might actually invite Alan in, because what I'd like to do is I'd like you to tell you a little bit how powerful NLP is and how powerful all of this mindset stuff actually works. So if you would like to learn a little bit more about NLP, the power of your mind, okay, and how it works for you, remember, it's for you, not the other way around. Okay, I often use the analogy of, imagine if I was holding a snow globe in my hand right now. Now, that snow globe, say you're stressed, say you're overwhelmed. Imagine those little flakes in the snow globe are your thoughts. And when you're shaken, when you're excited, when you're anxious, all those thoughts are shaken up and stirred and your mind is active, right? Okay, now think about it when you settle. What happens? All those thoughts settle down and your mind becomes empty. So your thoughts are the little flakes, the little snowflakes, and the snow globe is your mind. But the real true question is, who is holding the snow globe? Okay, again, think about that one. You see, you are not your mind. You are something incredible. You are something that me, you, none of us can really comprehend. We're something spectacular, but we are in control of it, not the other way around. Your mind is simply a tool that works for you and will simply answer your questions. So learn how to use it more effectively, because when I did that, everything changed. So I want to bring Alan in, and he will tell you some of his experience on how NLP and all this mind stuff actually works. We could call it conversational hypnosis, whatever you would like to call it, and the power of it. So I'm going to try and invite Alan in here. Let me see if I can do this. Alan, I hope you're ready to come in, and let's see if I can get him in here. And he can tell you a little bit, because he came on my NLP course